Hi guys, I feel like it's been such a long time since I vlogged, and it really has been because I think the past couple of months has just flown by. I always say that I live in a few different worlds, and it feels like all my worlds just jumbled together. It just made a big mix, and it just spread all across everything that I was trying to do. I was so busy, and you know, I just felt like, wow, I didn't even have time to kind of do a proper vlogging or even think about any content. I mean, I did think about the things that I wanted to do for this channel, but I didn't have the time. And here at Pinto, we are doing a pre-loved or second-hand book sale. This was one of those things that, you know, we've been thinking about for a long time, because we were not sure whether this is something that we wanted to do, because a lot of these books, in fact, these are only what you're seeing here. The books that we have are only sort of maybe a quarter of what we had. All of these books were in our old family home library, which when the house was demolished, we took the books here to Pinto, here to Janda Baik, because we have some space, and we thought of, you know, we were thinking of either building a small library, or, you know, at least to provide a nice space to store some of these books, which I think, you know, are a very nice, wonderful collection, which had been built over many years, from when my late father was a young student in the US and until, you know, my brother and we had a big collection as well. Unfortunately, because of time and because of the commitments, and we just couldn't provide a home for these books. And I was discussing with my family, and we thought that the best thing for us to do would to select some of the books which we are willing to part with for now. We're willing to part with, and hope that it goes to new loving homes, you know, where they will be used, where they will be read, where they will be stored properly, where it will, you know, at least maintain the integrity of these books, because some of them are pretty old, some of them are kind of, you know, disintegrating. And if we kept them here, not in a great storage place, we are worried that what will happen is that, you know, some of these books are just going to go into decay. So speaking of home library, we found this interesting, it's a booklet, or rather it's a brochure published by Delta. Let me see, it was in 1991. It was published for the Jawatan Kuasa Gerakan Membaca Kebangsaan, which was, I guess, at that point in time, you know, a committee that was set up, a national committee that was set up to encourage reading. And they published this brochure called Pembacaan dan Perpustakaan Keluarga. Basically, it's sharing, or rather sort of like a directions on kind of how to set up a home library and how to encourage reading in your family. See that the Minister of Education at that time was Anwar Ibrahim. That's me, because I suppose they couldn't pay a model to work out. But yeah, it's about reading together, all about all this, you know, reading at home, reading together, reading with your family. That's how it's encouraged. And this is me when I was a young little girl in primary school. And interestingly enough, this picture that was used about the home library, Perpustakaan Keluarga, this was our home library in our family home when we were young. This was it. This is our library. It is 5:37 today, and today is a Wednesday. I am facing a super busy week ahead of me. Well, I already had a super busy week this week. because there have been some conferences that I've been attending. I have a bunch of meetings coming up in the next couple of days, and then I have the weekend at Pinto, and on Monday until next Wednesday I also have another conference that I will be attending. But all of this is happening while Eddy will be in Banda Aceh. In fact, he just left this morning. I am about to leave and head off to the conference. I just spoke to Eddy on the phone. I think he's just going through immigration at the airport. He's about to head off to Banda Aceh, and I'm heading off to the conference. It is the Cooler Earth Sustainability Summit. So I just spoke to Eddy last night, but he arrived in Banda Aceh, and he's starting to get together and have meetings with a lot of the new business partners that he is working with. Hopefully everything goes well. That's a new and exciting, but of course at the same time very stressful venture for him. This is why in KL, when you have a bunch of meetings, you kind of need to buffer in a lot of time in advance. So I'm now in KLCC. Somehow, I have a meeting at 10. It's 9:40 right now, and I am stuck at the entrance of so work is over for today, though I am going back, and there's still a bunch of things that I need to do at home. I do have a Tesco delivery that I'm waiting for today, so because of that I won't be able to meet up with my colleagues for dinner, but I think, you know, they're gonna have a good time here in KL. Sorry, I haven't been vlogging, and I was planning to vlog, but basically the week just got away from me. Well, at least like last night was the first time I stayed over in Janda Baik when Eddy wasn't around, and I thought it was gonna be a little bit scary. I mean, I'm not completely alone on this compound, but you know, normally Eddy is around. But my little Snow was so adorable and so lovely. She accompanied me here the whole night, and it was raining the entire evening, and I think there's still a bit of a drizzle this morning. So today is going to be a busy day here as well at Pinto, and I think this is also kind of like the first weekend in a long time that we have been here without Eddy around. So he's still in Banda Aceh. I spoke to him last night. Everything is going well, and hopefully we will be able to, well, the team and I, the Pinto crew and I, will be able to keep the fort here this weekend when he's not around. You can probably still hear a little bit of the drizzle, but my little girl has decided that she wants to spend some time this morning in the cold weather, in the drizzle, in the jungle. Snowy! But I don't blame her. There's such a sense of calm. It's fresh air, it's crisp this morning here amidst the trees. It's a beautiful morning indeed. Hello. someone has just had her lunch and is feeling a teeny tiny bit sleepy. So let me see, time now is 1:30. We had a group who was here at Pinto for a lunch. Everything went well for the group. However, we did face a little bit of an issue because suddenly one of our part-timers, I think at about 11:30, decided that she said she wasn't feeling well and she had to go. She couldn't stand. She wasn't feeling well, she couldn't stand. Now, I mean, we were very short-staffed as it is. Eddy's not around. We had tried to get additional part-timers, but it wasn't easy. But I think it's also partly our fault because this is not the first time that she has done that. She has done this to us many times before, and we rarely call her back for a part-time job. But she 2 weeks ago she came and begged to be called back. So and we said, okay, why not, you know, we needed staff, she needed a job. But oh my god, what a busy weekend it was. Saturday and Sunday was super busy. So it is now about, well, almost midnight. On Sunday night I just got back to KL. Tomorrow, well, this next week is going to be another busy week at work because my bosses are in town and we are attending a conference. Have been happening since the change in government. A lot of the forums and events that I have been attending, there's a real discussion going on. You do get a sense that all the topics that are being discussed are, you know, are more relevant to the ground, you know, more relevant to understanding the pulse of the nation, what we are going through as a nation, what are the issues that resonate, what are the issues that affect real people on the ground. Fine, how do we redefine development? How do we make sure and ensure that when we talk about development, it is about something that is sustainable? We are talking about super long term, while at the same time meeting the demands of the super short term that, you know, our people have gotten used to. You know, given this day, in this day and age, everybody wants to talk about what's in it for me, what am I enjoying, but really talk about what are practical solutions, what are some of the things that we can really do, what are some of the things that the government can do. But of course we can't rely 100% on the government. What businesses can do, what individuals can do. One of the things that came out of it was it was a recommended reading. But, you know, she recommended this book called The Donut Economics, 7 Ways to Think Like a 21st Century Economist. And this book is by Kate Raworth. She is an Oxford academic, but this book is all about rethinking how we study economics. You know, the goal of economics, the goal of our system of redistributing or distributing wealth, allocating resources, is all the end goal is to grow the pie or to have growth at all costs. But this book really talks about how we need to change that. It's a given, but it is not relevant anymore in this day and age. So there are a few things that she talks about here, and I'm still reading through. I haven't gone through it, but I think it's very interesting. We as the world, you know, we need to relook at things differently now with the challenges of today. This sort of discussion, this topic of discussion continues when I attended the Khazanah Megatrends Forum. That, again, I think one of the things that was super interesting was this whole theme about our definitions about development, our how we perceive growth, how we perceive wealth, how we look at development, all of these things need to change. We need to have a bit more an inclusive, progressive way to look at all of these things, that all this while, you know, we look at as a given. I like the fact that most of the discussants, you know, just even if the people who were giving the talk was from the financial sector or from the business sector, from the corporate sector, everybody realizes that at the end of the day, you know, it is not, people are no longer just looking at the bottom line, or rather, maybe the better way to say it is that the bottom line, it's no longer just dollars and cents, it's no longer just margin of profit, it's no longer just, you know, maximizing profit, minimizing cost, you know. I just came back from another event, a small investment forum, which is kind of organized by my colleagues as well here. Eddy is already back from Banda Aceh, and I am still at the car park because it is raining so heavily. I don't know if you can see and if you can kind of hear. It has been raining super heavily here in KL every time in the evening, which also means that if you are a person who relies on Grab food for your dinner, for your nightly sustenance, you're gonna have a bit of a trouble, because most Grab riders are motorcyclists, right? And so they will not be able to deliver in this weather. So time to start rediscovering the kitchen. Friday, and we are back at Go and Dolce in Taman Zone, and this is the one that I've been dreaming about. What is it called? This is the sourdough grilled cheese with tomatoes, and Kita is having the burrata margarita, and Alma having the same as me. Bon appetit! Today is Friday. It's going to be another crazy weekend. It's been a few crazy weekends, but this is going to be a crazy weekend because I'm heading off to Pinto right now, and on Sunday I am going to be heading off to Singapore for work. Well, so the time now is 11 p.m. on a Sunday and I have just arrived in Singapore. I started the day this morning in Janda Baik and I am spending the night, at least the next 4 nights here in Singapore. And in fact, it has been a very tiring past couple of months, and so I'm going to kind of end this vlog here. Today has really been kind of like a blur. It's been a busy morning in Janda Baik, in Pinto. Drove to KL, took the Grab to KL Central, took the train to the airport, took the flight here, took a cab to the hotel. It's been kind of a blur. A couple of months just flew by, and here we are almost at the end of the year. Can you believe it?